Hi! Get ready to dive into a spine-chilling horror story. Flip your phone next to the pillow and join me in experiencing the thrills. Pay attention to the English and grammar that have been used, and let your imagination run wild.
The title of the fable is Spirit-Bound, The Doll's Hidden Legacy. Once upon a time, in a little town called Hawkins, there lived a young couple named Emily and David. They were excitedly moving into their new house, eager to make it their own, looking at its structural engineering beauty. Little did they know that their dream home held a sinister secret, waiting to be discovered soon. As they began to settle in, Emily and David decided to explore the attic, looking around, curious about the forgotten treasures that might be hidden away. Amongst the dusty boxes and forgotten memories in the basement, they stumbled upon an old, weathered box. Inside, nestled amongst the cobwebs, was an antique doll. Its porcelain face stared at them with wide-opened eyes, surprisingly its glassy eyes seemingly penetrating their souls. Fascinated by the doll's craftsmanship and intrigued by its mysterious aura emanating from the doll, Emily and David decided to give it a new home in their living room. But as soon as the doll crossed the threshold of its basement, an invincible presence seemed to awaken. At first, the signs were subtle. Objects would mysteriously shift their positions overnight, as if moved by unseen hands. Strange whispers echoed through the halls, chilling the air even on warm summer nights. Emily and David brushed off these peculiar occurrences, attributing them to their overactive imaginations. But the doll had plans of its own. As time passed, the doll's malevolence grew bolder and its action intensified. It began to move on its own, seemingly gliding across the room when no one was watching. An icy breeze followed its every move. Emily and David's dreams became plagued by terrifying nightmares, filled with visions of the doll, its lifeless eyes burning with hatred which has the potential of creating a catastrophe. Fear gripped the couple's hearts as their once happy home transformed into a house of horrors. They couldn't deny the presence any longer, nor could they ignore the feeling of being watched, their every move scrutinized by unseen eyes. But they little trusted in their dreams about the doll. After an intense encounter with the unseen force controlling them, driven by desperation, Emily delved into the doll's past. She scoured old records and spoke to local historians, unearthing a haunting tale of a previous owner who had met a tragic and untimely end. It was said that the doll had been used in a malevolent ritual, binding a vengeful spirit to its fragile form by the owner of the mansion before it backfired and caused his own life. Realizing the gravity of their situation, Emily and David sought the help of a renowned paranormal expert. The expert warned them of the dangers that lay ahead, advising against destroying the doll, for that might unleash the wrath of the spirit upon them which has been stored inside the doll for years. Their only hope was to break the curse that bound the spirit to the doll, which was an intensified course to follow through. Driven by a newfound determination, Emily and David embarked on a quest to unravel the mystery and put an end to the doll's torment. They discovered an ancient book hidden deep within the bowels of their basement, its pages filled with cryptic symbols and incantations, which was beyond their understanding level. It took its own risk and time to train through the power illustrated in the book. The magic book's enchantments had unleashed the doll's supernatural abilities, granting them the power to traverse the physical and spiritual realms. Armed with their newfound knowledge, the couple prepared to confront the doll and banish the spirit once and for all. With trembling hands and hearts pounding, they stood before the doll, surrounded by a glow of candlelight. Their voices quivered as they recited the ancient incantation, their words filled with a mixture of fear and determination. As Emily and David stood in the dimly lit room, surrounded by the eerie presence of the haunted doll, a palpable tension filled the air. The atmosphere crackled with a sense of anticipation, as if the very fabric of reality held its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Their hearts raced in unison, their voices trembling as they spoke the ancient incantation passed down through generations. Each word carried a weight, resonating with the power of centuries-old mysticism. They could feel the weight of the doll's presence intensify with each verse, its dormant energy awakening in response to their invocation. As they continued reciting the incantation, the room seemed to come alive with a surge of supernatural energy. Shadows screaming along the walls, their movements mirroring the shifting balance between the mortal and the ethereal. The air itself seemed to thicken, charged with an electric current that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. Emily and David's eyes met, their gazes reflecting a mixture of determination and trepidation. They knew that they were teetering on the precipice of the unknown, venturing into a realm where the boundaries between the tangible and the intangible blurred. A chilling breeze swept through the room, carrying whispers of forgotten voices that seemed to speak directly into their souls. The doll's porcelain features appeared to shift, as if infused with a newfound sentience, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly luminescence. Their hands trembled as they clutched the book, their fingers tracing the ancient symbols etched upon its pages. Sweat dripped down their brows, mingling with the beads of anticipation that formed on their foreheads. Emily and David knew that they were on the precipice of something profound, something that would forever alter their understanding of reality. Their very beings were caught in a delicate balance, teetering between the mortal realm and the ethereal plane. With a final, resolute utterance of the incantation, Emily and David locked eyes, their souls intertwining in a shared moment of both vulnerability and strength. The room seemed to hold its breath, the silence pregnant with expectation. And then, in a blinding flash of light, the doll came alive, its presence transcending the boundaries of mere porcelain and cloth. The intensity of the situation reached its zenith as Emily and David found themselves face to face with the enigmatic and awakened power of the haunted doll. At that moment, they realized the magnitude of the forces they had invoked, and they braced themselves for the unpredictable and potentially perilous journey that lay ahead. The doll thrashed violently, its porcelain limbs contorting in defiance as it has come to life. It fought with every ounce of its spectral strength, desperate to cling to the physical world. But Emily and David remained steadfast, channeling their resolve and summoning the strength they didn't know they possessed. And then, as if a gust of wind had blown through the room, the doll went still. The spirit, defeated and vanquished, dissipated into the ethereal realm, leaving behind only a hollow silence. Emily and David breathed a sigh of relief, their bodies sagging with exhaustion. They had triumphed over the darkness that had threatened to consume them. With heavy hearts, they made a decision to leave the mansion for good, and they even decided to not sell the mansion, knowing its truth.